Next, we have the Apply During Import panel. Here, we can apply different preset development settings to our images. There are quite a few we can choose from, and we'll be working with many of them later in this course. But just as an example, you could have Lightroom automatically apply a black and white filter to your images on import. This is just one example out of the many different options available. Another one is the sepia tone you can apply. When working with images, especially photographs, it's very important to understand the concept of metadata. First, know that metadata is exactly that, data. It's information stored in each one of your digital image files. If you've taken a photo using a DSLR camera, your camera has generated and saved a copy of your photo on your memory card. There are certain bits of data automatically assigned to this image. The amount of metadata attached to the image will likely vary between camera manufacturers. Let's take a look at example metadata generated by a Nikon D5100 DSLR camera. The information we're about to analyze is available in Lightroom, and we'll show you how to access it later in this course. This metadata set is relevant to the first image in our gallery. First, we can see the make and model of the camera that was used to take this photo, a Nikon D5100. We also have quite a bit of other valuable information. This includes the lens that was used, the focal length of that lens, the exposure, including the shutter speed, aperture, and ISO, also the shooting mode, in this case manual, and metering mode, spot metering. We can also see if a flash was used during this composition. So as you can see, the metadata can encompass quite a bit of information. Some camera manufacturers will include much more information than this as well. Beyond the automatically assigned metadata by your camera, we can also input our own. To do so, we can click the New item in this menu here. This panel, the Metadata Preset panel, allows us to create a metadata preset. The data we input into this preset will be attached to every image we import from this catalog. The first step here is to just give this preset a name. I'll just call it Meta1. There's a fairly long list of data types that we could attach to our images. It would be impractical to go through each one. Let's take a look at just a few of the commonly used items. First, under the IPTC Creator section, you can add some basics such as your name, address, and contact information. We can also add location information under the Camera Info section. For example, we can add GPS, altitude, direction. This will come in handy when we explore something known as geotagging in Lightroom. Another important one is the copyright information. This allows you to protect your digital work by inputting copyright data. So now that I've filled in some sample data, I can go ahead and click Create. And you'll notice this preset is now available in the Metadata menu. We can use this preset anytime we import photos from now on. If you don't want to use the preset, simply select None or create a new one if that's what you want to do. The next important option available here is keywords. You can think of keywords as tagging your photos. As you'll see later in this course, they help keep your catalog organized. For example, you can filter all your photos by keywords. A simple example of common keywords applied to photos are the names of people in the photograph. So for example, I can enter two names, John and Jill, and each is separated by a comma. We'll teach you how to modify and filter photographs by keywords later in this course. The last panel in the import dialog is the destination folder. This simply means the location where our photos will be imported to. We can see that the current import folder is set to the My Lightroom Photos directory on our desktop. Here, Lightroom gives us a snapshot of all our images categorized by date. This is not the structure of our folder. This breakdown by date is only visible in Lightroom. Our parent directory is My Lightroom Photos. Each subdirectory is identified by year, and the directories underneath our subdirectories are identified by year, day, and month. If you find this panel a little bit confusing, you can also click the Destination Folders button up here. Now you can see your previews all sorted by date. Since each one of these images was taken on a different day, we have many different pages, and you can scroll through the pages using this navigation tool here. So for example, all these images were taken on the same day, March 28th. So for now, I'll go back to all photos.